Hi, this is Thaine, and welcome back to the lab. With me today is a special guest, Gabe Achanzar, from our Performance Evaluation and Competitive Analysis team. Gabe, why don't you tell me what PECA, or Performance Evaluation and Competitive Analysis, actually does?
So, in a nutshell, what PECA does is we test hundreds of parts using hundreds of workloads to make sure that the data that we generate is something that is factual, accurate, and replicable. So something, when you make a claim, when Intel makes a claim, it is a factual claim and something that we could back up with data.
So anytime you see a claim from Intel touting performance, that was tested and verified in your labs?
Correct.
So Gabe, I'm sure you get asked this all the time. What is a benchmark?
So simply put, a benchmark is a way to measure the relative performance of one device relative to another. So it's a way for us to judge which one can run that specific task faster or better. There are hundreds of benchmarks out there, and the key for us is choosing the right one. Which benchmark is appropriate for that usage model, which one's appropriate for that audience. So, for example, if you look at typical usage models, photo, video, web, browsing the web, music, those types of things, each one of those has a benchmark to basically qualify how they perform. So if you look at the multiple different usage models out there, there's a benchmark that kind of reflects each one. So there is not one benchmark that we recommend. There is a family of benchmark that we recommend that reflects each of those usage models.
So how do you actually test a workload like video editing?
So one of the things that we do is we basically try to make both systems as equal as possible. So we have the same memory, same storage. And then what we do then is apply the workload or the applications that we want to test and run the test multiple times to make sure that we capture all types of variations. And then once we get that data point, then we use that to basically make the claim.
Can you give me an example of what a simulated benchmark is, and then describe how it may or may not equate to performance that a customer would see?
So there is a purpose for simulated benchmark. A lot of computer scientists or theorists use that because that gives you the theoretical capability of the PC. But if you're looking at selling PCs to a consumer, we would prefer to use a real-life benchmark. As an example, in real life, a person may not be doing those types of activities. They might be doing something as simple as touching up a photo, video editing, creating a PowerPoint slide, and in that particular usage model, it does not the artificial benchmark or the simulated benchmark will not reflect what that user experiences.
So if you're not familiar with Cinebench is, and it's not part of the daily applications you use, that number may or may not relate to you.
It may or may not relate to you.
So I guess you guys are pretty good at benchmarks. Do you have favorites or ones that we recommend?
So at PECA, we believe in the philosophy espoused by Hennessy. Hennessy is one of the leading computer architecture experts. He actually had a book talking about benchmarking, and that's used in many universities like Stanford and Berkeley. So what he says is the only way to test computer performance is to look at real-life applications because it will reflect what actual people do and what people actually use. So we follow that philosophy, and where we can, we use real-life applications and real-life usages to test the workloads and the benchmarks.
All right. Well, one question I have, we talk in terms of multipliers or percentages. If you say 2x performance, is that 200%?
Good question. So the way we look at it is if you look at 1-to-1, in other words, they're equal, they're 0%, right? So once you double the performance, it's 100%. So 2x is actually, it's 100%.
100% improvement is the same thing as twice the performance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I always get that math wrong.
Yes. So do I, sometimes.